O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new 2025 RDX $419 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new Acura ZDX $439 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Oh, no. That was hurting. That was bad. That was bad. It was very predictable. It was extremely predictable. Okay. We talked about it on the show today. You know, there are certain people, I've been around this earth now for 60 years. And in the world of animation, you never wanted to be around Bad Luck Schleprock. And then I've also learned that you don't want to be involved with Drake. If Drake bets on you, if Drake likes you, if Drake, you know, it's just one of those things. And then in life, I've also learned, it's 58. I'll be 59 October 1st. Okay. I even wore my Panthers because we need the force. And I've also learned that you don't have Miami Dolphins involved with your franchise. They got enough shit to worry about with themselves for 40 years now. They can't win for shit. If it's not Kim Bocamper getting stripped, it's, the Dolphins getting embarrassed by the Niners. If it's not, it's Thurman Thomas 300 yards on their ass, and most of the time, they have like a terrible winning percentage. They've won like once or twice, I think it is. Waddle and maybe McDaniel or something. I don't know what it was. It's like once or twice out of all people, McDaniel. Maybe not McDaniel, but it was like one or two. That's it. It's like 7 or 8 other people that I've lost. And today, Jason Taylor. Was Drake in the building? Did he bet on the Panthers? Was somebody watching a Flintstones cartoon somewhere? Now, in all seriousness, really, don't be associating with yourself with the Dolphins. In all seriousness, seriously now, never Panthers. You have one more home game left. You got one job. Don't pick another goddamn Dolphin. That's all I got to say. Anyway. So, no, really, the second period, they came out guns a-blazing. They dominated in the third period. Second period is where they let up. They didn't play with the same edge. And then, today is, listen, we told you in the last game, right? We're gonna go both ways here on this, and we're gonna stay consistent. Okay. In game 3, when they won, what did I tell you guys right away? Yo, pump the brakes. This doesn't mean shit. Remember I told you that? Hey, this doesn't mean shit. You got to win game 4 for game 3 to matter. Because if you lose game 4 at 1-0 or 5-4 by 1 goal, doesn't matter that you won 6-1. It's still 2-2. You're back to a 3-game set. Excuse me. And 2 of the 3 are on the road. So we're back to square one. I told you that, didn't I? Now I'm going to go the other way. Okay. Tonight sucked, dude. Tonight, they screwed up in the second period. They completely let up. These guys got back in. You got to tip your hat to them. You just got to say, yo, respect. They're a damn good team. You had them. You had them wobbling, and you allowed them to regain their momentum for a round or two, and then they got their second wind, and then they knocked you out. That's it. And that's the problem with turning it off. And in that second period, when they turned it off, we could talk about the individual plays here or there or whatever the hell. They got outplayed from the second period on. And to their credit, they fought, they got back, they got the goal to tie it, and they send it in overtime and all that. But you're hanging on a wire at that moment, but you had been outplayed. And that's where you effed up, dude. It's not just having, Jason Taylor in the house and have him, beat the drum. And by the way, I know we'd like to say he's a UM coach or maybe a former Jet or a former Redskin, actually, because he's a former Redskin. That doesn't matter. He's a Dolphin. So, yeah, we know. And I hope the Panthers, like, from now on, You know when you invite a Dolphin to bang the drum? In late October. Okay? Like the second home game. Late October, early November, that's when you invite a Panther, when it doesn't matter whatsoever. And then they don't come back. That's it. Till next year. Okay? Do it like at the beginning of the year. Right there in that first week or two, you know? Not necessarily the home opener. We don't want the Dolphins screwing up the home opener too. But I'm just saying, you want to just be a little respectful, you know. I personally would have had Tyron Mears today bang the drum, the head coach of Fort Lauderdale United. His team is in the championship in their first year. Way more impressive than anything the Dolphins have done. They can never get there. Jason Taylor can buy maybe a ticket to the championship, but he was never going to make it with the Dolphins. So, you know, come on, let's bring winners over to get it done. You know, the Dolphins are stained, but seriously, here's where I'm going to go the other way and stop. Damn it, kidding around. Okay, I'm not panicking either. Here's where they let up, they screwed up, they let them back in. They can win the next two games and win this series. I am not concerned. I'm not panicked. It's just frustrating because now you just made it harder on yourself, you know? And you really had a chance to go up 3-1, break them mentally and physically. What did I tell you in the last postgame show? Go play it. What did I tell you in the last postgame show? This game doesn't mean shit if you don't win game 4. And if you lose game 4, as good as you all are feeling right now, you'll feel just as bad, and they're going to feel great because now they've got wind in their sails. Now Edmonton has all the confidence that they need going back now to their home ice. And I know the Panthers play great on the road. That's why I'm not worried about it. I'm not concerned, but I don't want the same emotions that you use to be too cocky after game 3. Don't then twist those emotions and become so negative after game 4. This team is really good. I'm talking about the Panthers. Like they're a great team. Even great teams have lulls, have moments, have peaks, have valleys, and they chose the wrong time against the wrong team. And they've got to play cutthroat for all 3 periods. And once you start losing that momentum and then they start gaining the momentum and then you're trying to get it back, it just becomes harder to get that magic back. Look, dude, when you're playing a shitty team in November or December or something, you can let up for a period and then you could come back in the next period and kick their ass. But this Edmonton Oilers team is really effing good. So you can't go out there and screw around. And that's what they did today. They screwed around. They got tripped up and they lost. And they got what they deserved today. 1, they allowed a Dolphin in the building to hit the drum. And 2, they let up when they had their opponent down, bro. When those knees are wobbling, you got to finish them out. You got to knock them out. And you had them wobbling and you allowed them to get to the corner. You allowed the bell to ring and you allowed them to breathe and get life. And then you made it harder on yourself for the rest of the night. You know? What else if I bang the drum, we win, of course. You know. It's all right, but I'm not famous enough or anything like that. The Panthers, you know, it's not like they're doing any favors for me right now or anything. So I'd love to do the favor for them because obviously if I bang the drum, it's a guaranteed win. By the way, Please support our show. Smash the hell out of the like button. We got almost 100 watching, only 26 likes. Come on. Smash the like button. Remember, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Chainlink donation. So I appreciate that as always, and you can send in your comments, and we always encourage that because we get 100% of the donation there. On the super chats, we only get 70. Thinking YouTube takes 30. Let's see. Adam Pinkser, thank you for the love on Venmo, sir. Very nice of you. Oh, it's hard to criticize the Panthers, but that was a terrible second period. You said the Panthers needed this game, and they shit the bed. And for the love of God, no more Dolphins banging the drums. Exactly. That's it. Steve M, what an epic collapse. I think if Florida came back and won, he sent me this during the game. But I don't think this loss hurts Florida the same way. Nevertheless, very disappointing. Okay, no, this one after. What an epic collapse. I think if Florida came back and won, Edmonton would have been finished. But I don't think this loss hurts Florida the same way. Nevertheless, very disappointing. I am very proud of Steve M here on Venmo. And thank you, Steve. The man is not giving up on the Panthers. I thought he would be panicking big time right now. Steve, dude, I am really proud of you. That's what I feel. That's what I just told you. I feel the same way. I have no concerns when it comes to the Florida Panthers. I think that they'll come back and take care of business like they always do. I really do. They'll learn their lesson and they'll play the way they're supposed to play. Now, they're going to be facing an Oilers team that is going to be flying high. Okay? An Oilers team that is going to be absolutely nasty. And they're going to be psyched up, you know. Give me a second here. Let's see. Man of 1,005 hosts. Thank you, sir, for the love in the super chat. Next time Big O bangs the drum, I would love that. Chris Jordan, Big O, I think you should be the head coach at Taravella High School football. Return them to glory. You want to kill me at this age, bro? I want to relax with the wife, dude. That's what I want to do. Complacent is the word of the day. The Panthers did that. Yes, sir, Carlos. Can't argue with that. Panthers turned into Meow Mix after 3 goals. Fair, and way to, keep the joke alive on the show. Yes, arrest warrant for Antonio Brown. I mean, I figured he'd end up broke, but attempted murder? Didn't think that would be the story with Antonio Brown, I gotta say. That one got me by surprise. Okay. So that's that one got me by surprise. Ryan C. Finns fans got that Panthers logo. He says tough loss. Oilers can only win an OT. We got this. Oh, I guess that was before. I got to tell you something. I have no sympathy for Antonio Brown at all. I don't play that game with people that are really bad for a long, long time, and they're just incredibly irresponsible, and then they want to play that card. I can't do that. Can't do that. What else do we have? We played a solid first and third in OT. They'll study Picard a little more. It must be. I think he's like 7-0 or some shit like that. Some stupid record. We'll see what happens. Jason Taylor is one of us. Gave us everything. Oh, Jason Taylor's fantastic, but it's not his fault. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of players that are fantastic. Isn't Patrick Surtain fantastic? Isn't Cam Wake fantastic? But unfortunately, they end up with the Dolphins stank. They won nothing. For whatever reason, they won nothing. It's not their fault. It's just, they had too much stank around them, so they didn't have enough. And since that, it stuck to them. And so we don't want it any part of the Panthers right now. Until the Dolphins go on their own and break the spell. Okay? We don't need them bringing the funk of 40,000 years to the Panthers, to Sunrise. Okay? Even the Marlins fought it off in their own building. They're in the same building with the Dolphins, and they said, no. We have Jobu, and that's not going to affect us. Oh, you guys didn't know that, huh? Marlins had Jobu. Yeah. So the Dolphin funk and the whole building and everything, Jobu covered the Marlins. And so they won 2 championships there. Like, they laughed at this, at everything going on there, the Dolphin negative spirits in the place, and they said, no. Jobu don't play. And they won. So that's how bad the stank of the Dolphins is. On their own, they've got to solve it. It's the only way you break the curse. So somebody, maybe Theo Epstein, he did it for the Red Sox and the Cubs. If he can solve those puzzles, I say he comes and solves this enigma here known as the Miami Dolphin curse. But for now, keep their stank away from the Panthers. Keep their stank away from the Fort Lauderdale United. Keep their stank away from Nova Southeastern University. Okay, we got some people in town that actually know what the hell they're doing. The Dolphins must be hanging out a lot with Inter Miami, because there's some stank coming out of Commercial Boulevard. True FinFan says, allow me to be honest. Definitely panicking. I don't care what anybody thinks about that. Hello. Wow, Lolo says, I lost all faith in the team going forward. How can you do that, bro? They're really fantastic. It's all good, dude. It's not the end of the world. Take it easy, bro. Oh, man. Man of 1,005 holes. No panic. Game-by-game mentality. And that's exactly you have to now spin it. I told you game 3 meant nothing unless you win game 4. And now I'm going to tell you, hey, none of this means anything. It's a 3-game series. It was a 7, and you had a chance to really level it with the 3-1 edge. You lose. Now everybody won 2 games. We got 3 games left. You ended up making it a short series now. That's it. That's the way it goes. Panthers screwed up. Now they make it harder on themselves. And look, they could easily, not that it'll be easy to do it, but they are a great team, the Panthers, and they can win the next 2. And we'll forget all about this. That's why I don't want you to get too high in game 3. And, oh, my God, we're awesome. We own them. They're our bitches. And I didn't want you to do that. And then I don't want you to also be on this side. Oh, my God, it's over. I'm walking off the ledge. And it's they suck. And no. This is a championship team. If this was the Dolphins, and I would tell you, oh, man, they had every opportunity. Okay, this is so Dolphins. We all know what's coming. The Dolphins will lose the next 2. This is not the Dolphins. Okay. So I did not get crazy after game 3 one way, and I'm not going to get crazy after tonight the other way. Okay. Why? This is the best team we've had in a long time, dude. Long time. I would tell you that this team is more complete than anything the Heat came up with in the Big 3 era. They kind of live by the seat of their pants at times. even though they were very talented. This team can do it all at a really high level. Okay. But when you're really talented, sometimes you let up a little bit. It's human nature. And today it bit them in the ass. And now we'll see. Now we'll see if they learn their lesson. That's what we'll find out. We'll see if they learned the lesson. Zachary Gibbons says 100% agree. Take it one game at a time. Let's see. Dustin, you wear that Fiedler jersey outside? Stanley Cup in the house in the next Florida game. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. What else do we have on the chat board? I thought we hit the game winner in overtime, especially. Oh, man. The hitting the Bennett hitting the pipe. Dude, that sucks. Bennett hitting the pipe was like Pookie doing it in New Jack City. It was terrible. It was terrible. Terrible. Terrible experience for Pookie. Terrible experience for us. Kids, don't hit the pipe. Just advice. I'm just saying. Not in hockey, not in life. Okay. What else do we have here? Overall. Yeah, Oilers, of course, they changed their goalie. I did not know that, the Drew. I had no idea. Did you guys know that they changed the goalie? Wow. Had no idea that they pulled the guy that they scored 3 goals on. I am thrilled that the Panthers win in overtime, but the Panthers did not deserve to win this when you blow a 3-0 lead. And you know what, Ted? It's what I said earlier. They got what they deserved, unfortunately. It's my team. I love them. Okay. Just like you guys do. But they got what they deserved. By the way, as you can see, Welton Rayom, a proud sponsor of our platform and a sponsor of this segment. So appreciate you all out there. And if you're looking for lawyers that you can count on, please call them 954-966-4646 and save it now that we're in storm season, because if anything happens, okay, you call them first. Never call the insurance company. They have their own adjusters. Okay. During the storms last year in the West Coast, several of our listeners on the West Coast of Florida call. We've had listeners call from the Central Florida area. Nobody in the Panhandle yet, but anywhere in Florida, they'll take care of you. So if something happens, you got a leak in the roof, whatever, call our guys at Welton Rayom, and they can definitely take care of you, man. Good people, 954-966-4646. And the consultation's completely free, and we appreciate their amazing support. What else do we want here? Okay. Big O, I hate to say it, but the Panthers choked. You can't blow. Dude, it happens. It happens. You can blow. You apparently don't watch hockey. This happens in hockey, dude. Hockey is one of those sports that the home ice doesn't mean anything. And the emotions and the game sway like this all the time. This happens in hockey series all the time, because the difference between, I got to be honest, the difference between hockey and what you watch in the NBA, the passion at this level is elite all the time. And the energy is being spent on both sides of the ice for players. And so I just, how many of these games have gone into overtime, dude? 3 of them, right? It's crazy. It's absolutely awesome for us. Terrible for them. You know, but in hockey, this is something that happens. Okay? And again, I think this also, you start, some of you Panther fans, you start to develop this attitude that you're entitled to win everything and you're entitled to win every moment. And sometimes you're playing a great team. And if you screw around for a couple of moments, which is what they did, and it's not that they choked. You don't choke when you let up. You choke when you're the Miami Dolphins. You choke now when you're this new Heat, this version of the Heat now, Bam's Tyler's version, the soft-ass group. That's choking, dude. This is not choking. And you're playing an elite team. You're the two best teams. You were there last year, and you're there again this year. Don't make any mistake. They're not playing some schmuck team. This isn't middle December where it's boring and you know you're one of the best teams in the league and you just don't feel like killing yourself or something and, or whatever. But choking and to say anything choking about the Panthers is about as ignorant as anybody could get in sports because there's nothing choking about them. Choking is the Miami Dolphins. Okay? They are the poster child of choking, and they've been choking for 40 years. That's choking. Okay? Teams and franchises that every time they're in a big moment, they shit the bed. That's them. The Panthers, they win. You know what I mean? But you are playing a great team, and you let up for a period, and it cost you. They got the momentum from you. And then it's hard to take it from an elite team. You showed character, which, of course, anybody that would call a team that would tie it to send it in overtime a choker is pretty stupid. It's a dumbass comment. So, it's that this is the problem we have. In game 3, you get too cocky, and I got to bring you down to reality. And now in game 4, you get stupid. Fans. Short for fanatical. I try to keep you all level-headed here, right? So that's why we get the two extremes. Idiots that say now choking of a team that is like there for the 3rd straight year in the Stanley Cup. Like, where does that resemble choking? That resembles incredible mental toughness. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're a freaking dumbass for that comment. I forgot who said it, but I hope you also put on the thing, now that I realize it, I'm a freaking dumbass. You know what I'm saying? Because if you mention the word choke in them, it's like, how stupid are you? How ignorant are you? Do you follow the sport? Do you know anything about the sport? You know what I'm saying? They screwed up is what they did, and they screwed up against a great team. They probably got a little cocky. And they thought they had him a little bit, and then these guys kind of, you had the junkyard dog held down a little bit there. You thought, oh no, I got him. Oh, and then he bit your ass. That's what happened. Because you are playing a junkyard dog. You are, and you thought you had him controlled. We thought they had him controlled at 3-0, and then you gave them a chance. And you don't do that with great teams. You have to stay on the ball the entire time, and that's it, dude. They screwed up, they let up, and to the Oilers' credit, they got the best of them, and that's it. That's all it is tonight. They got the best of them, and kudos to them. Hats off. That's what I say to them. Hats off. You got what you deserve. A win, just like that gentleman said. Today, the Panthers didn't deserve to win, and he's right. After that first period, they screwed up. They put themselves in this position, and now they got to get themselves out. And the beauty is, this isn't the Heat, and it certainly isn't the Dolphins. They can easily get themselves out of this. They can win the next 2, and all you guys out there that are panicking, you'll come back to this side, dude. It's ridiculous. I mean, let's go, man. This isn't the freaking Dolphins, dude. Please. Let's show some respect. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, don't kid yourself. The Panthers are playing a bitch of an opponent. Okay? They're playing a bitch of an opponent. So this isn't easy. And because they're playing a bitch of an opponent, they should know better to not do what they did in the second period. But it wasn't anything but human nature, even at the highest level of hockey. It'll happen in basketball. It'll happen in anything in life sometimes. You know, you've seen it. I've seen it in track where somebody let up and they thought, oh, I'm coasting. And then somebody snuck right past them and ended up getting first place, and they ended up with second. It happens. It happens. You get cocky in life, and then you get taught a lesson. And tonight, the Panthers were taught a lesson that they deserve. That's it. That's all it is. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. If only we didn't sell our young elite goalie for a sloppy D man. Oh, so he's the poster boy in the one game, and then this week because he screwed up. Yeah, he's the GOAT. It's that's fans for you. That's ungrateful fans for you right there. Getting off your bandwagon, you have an off night, off moment, and so all of a sudden now you're lazy and you're a choker. Big O, would you rather have the Dolphins make the Super Bowl or the Panthers become a dynasty? I'd rather just watch reality, my brother. You know what I'm saying? I understand that in today's radio and a lot of today's talk shows, since they don't have any substance, kind of like Hollywood, they got to play the stupid hypothetical games. Oh, well, maybe what if the Heat do this trade, and if they can do this and that, and they sit there with mental masturbations every offseason talking about every machination of this trade or that trade, and it never happens. And you've wasted summer after summer talking about hypotheticals, and this is how loser of a fan base the Miami Dolphin fan base is. They can only win through hypotheticals. That's what I would say. That's how much of a loser fan base we are, that the only way we can try to get any kind of something, some kind of satisfaction is say, wow, could we exchange this Fort Lauderdale United possible championship on Saturday night for the Dolphins? Or what about, the Canes already have 5. Oh, Mario Cristobal's got him on the brink. Can we switch it like we could get into a hot tub time machine? It's funny how talk radio and talk on all this shit has turned into hypothetical trades. I remember, hypothetical trades for Deebo Samuel when he was up for a contract a couple of years back. Remember that one? But wait a minute, they already have Waddle and Tyreek, and you guys want Deebo Samuel also? It's like, I really don't understand that. I really don't understand that. So on this show, if you know me well, hypotheticals is not something I play. I play the reality. The reality is, top to bottom, the Panthers are a real organization. Okay? And right now, the Miami Heat are a lost child in the mall. The Miami Dolphins have been an absolute dumpster fire for 40 years. So they are what they are, dude. I can't do anything about it. No wish, no genie, Will Smith will slap you now for that. In a genie uniform or outfit or whatever. Hey, can we trade this? Whack. Okay? Because, of course, he can't make it happen. Anyway, let's see. Big O doesn't live in fantasy land. He doesn't feed UBS. Nope, don't. Big O, we can't win a Super Bowl without Derrick Henry. We know this. Yeah, remember that last year? I wanted Derrick Henry badly, but of course we have a coach that doesn't know anything about the running game. Wasn't he the run game coordinator? That's the most screwed up thing in the world. We hired a guy that was supposedly the run game coordinator, and he doesn't establish the run. What the fuck? What is that? What's it called? Make the announcement. See if a parent claims their kid. That's the heat right now. See, can you guys, because I'm not good at this shit. I can't do any of this. But I would love for somebody, I pray for this. Okay, can you guys do this for me? Somebody out there. Is there a gift that you can find of a child lost running around the mall and just put a Heat logo on his head? That's it. And then send it to me. So I could just have a field day with it and all that, because that's exactly the Heat. Okay, they have no idea how it works in today's NBA, that you've got to accumulate picks and have flexibility so you can make moves. They still think you can like buy and all that, and there's aprons and shit. They have no idea. So they're like that kid lost in the mall. So to me that would be that's the perfect analogy for the Miami Heat and Pat Riley, and that's the perfect GIF, whatever the hell you want to call it. Okay. Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. Okay. Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com is our email. You can WeTransfer it. You can email it, whatever the hell it is, if it weighs too much. So there you go. That's your homework out there, since I suck at that. I don't know how to do that shit. But that's who the Heat are. Right there. So somebody please find their child. He's lost. What else? What do we have? The kid was looking at the new Nikes, and the parents walked away and lost him. Yeah. Or who knows? He probably like got into the middle of the rack. You ever did that as a kid? I did that. That was one of those moves that I would do, and then you hear your mom, and so you're laughing and you're screwing around because you're sitting right in the middle of the rack. Those round racks, right? They had like a cross in the bottom, in the middle, and so you could just sit there as a small kid. And it was like no problem. You're hanging out there and you're laughing. You're hearing your mom, and you're just, it's just not. It's cruel shit. At that moment, you're laughing, but at that moment, your mom's freaking out. You're laughing, and it's just like you have no idea. And then once you do show up, then you get your ass kicked. One of those. I brought back any memories? Okay. All right. Good. Yep. When my daughter was 4, she hid in the rack and scared the hell out of me as I was trying to find her. That's us kids. I got to say, train spotting. Great soundtrack, by the way. Train Spotting has a phenomenal soundtrack. Love the soundtrack from that movie. Is this the greatest final series in NHL history? Big O, knowing it's a continuation of last year. There's never been a sequence like this in the history of the NHL. I don't know, dude. I'm not smart enough for that. You'd have to ask somebody that's a true NHL historian. Remember, we've had runs where Edmonton had a bunch of, cups and all that kind of stuff. Whether it's Lemieux and company when they had their run. So we've had, the Red Wings with Detroit and all that kind of stuff. We've had stretches throughout hockey history. Again, I am not well versed enough. I am not smart enough when it comes to that. When I am not a hockey historian, so I can't really answer that question. I'll kick your ass in football and basketball. I'm really good in baseball, though I'm kind of losing my grip in baseball because I'm not keeping up nearly as much. But hockey, I don't have a grasp of hockey history like I do some of the other sports. So I can't answer that, dude. You'd have to ask somebody that really knows the game and the history to say that. For us to say that, it's just we're prisoners of the moment and we're just locked into it, and it's our greatest moment, but that doesn't mean it's the greatest moment of all time. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, dude. I just can't be. I can't answer that. Can't answer that. So if I know something, I'll tell you, or I think. But if I don't know something, I'll be more than happy to tell you. I don't know, dude. I don't know. My mom beat the crap out of me at Dadeland Mall. I hid between the racks, and I was watching them run around looking for me and my brother. Later on, found out it was right around the time Adam Walsh was missing. Oh, yeah, that was there. There's extra freaking out going on there. Yeah. Ryan says the Panthers will bounce back. I like that. I like that. For me, when it comes to history of a sport, me too. Although I gotta tell you, true Finn fan, I don't follow modern boxing enough also anymore. There's so many shitty fights. There was always a sense of people setting boxers up throughout history, and now it's like they make a complete living out of that the last 25, 30 years. So as the time has gone on, I can't say that I follow it heavy either. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I do love it. So when there are fights, I love to watch and be a part of it if I can and cover it. But I can't say that I know the sport inside out anymore. And by the way, it's not required for what I do. You guys don't like boxing enough that it requires for me to know all the boxing. That would kill you with the listenership. You guys want to hear about football and a couple other things, and that's kind of the way it goes. Anyway, we appreciate you all out there. Thank you. As always, if you send in a super chat, which you can at any time, a Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Of course, you can use the QR codes that are there to help us, as always. And we are also trying to go to, where is it here? Because I, of course, am on my own, so I don't have it here. Where is it? Here it is. We are trying to go to Spain. So if you can make a donation, that's our GoFundMe page. So there you go. Appreciate you all out there. We'll be back tomorrow morning. We'll be live at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. I appreciate you all out there. Much love.
This is the Big O Show. This is the